and scratching. Itch, scratch. Do you scratch an itch, or can you itch a scratch? Like,
I don't.
like scratch is like the physical, like it's the verb.
Yes.
You scratch something. You don't itch.
But
something.
I also feel like I'm getting really itchy right now.
Itchy? Why am I itchy?
I feel like a scratch is you will break skin with a scratch.
Like scratch something.
But or
Is
like
this- so-
it's more aggressive. An itch, I
Okay.
feel like a scratch you're using your nails.
Okay.
An itch, I feel like you can like not use your nails.
Can you itch an itch?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's
I
weird.
don't know. So I got a question for you.
Okay.
More doors or wheels?
Oh my god. By the time this comes out, people are probably so sick of that. It's wheels, obviously.
It's only wheels. And not because we're a wheel company.
If you're team doors, you're ignorant.
Yeah, we don't like you if you're team doors. Get
There's
out.
no way.
Shut. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Where are
and
you
don't
seeing
trip over the
so
wheels.
many doors at?
That band has been gone forever.
The doors?
Yeah.
About 3 doors down.
Yeah, but what about? Wait, are there any wheel bands? Oh, Steelers Wheel. That's a wheel band. Yeah.
How old are you?
I don't know. Wheel. There's got to be another wheel band we can think of.
I mean,
Shit, doors are
Rolling Stones, like that's had to been round.
It's like a
They're
wheel.
rolling. Yeah, it's like a wheel.
How old are you? They're old.
I'm 45.
Okay. What are we talking about today? Actually, I don't remember. Budget builds.
Yeah. Can you budget builds, can you do it? How do you do it?
Should we start?
Yeah.
The intro.
Yeah. Now that we're done talking about random bullshit. Welcome back to Between the Spokes podcast and Anovia Wheels podcast. I'm here with
Sam.
and I'm Gels. Before we get into everything, don't forget to check out Anovia Wheels over at AnoviaWheels.com for everything lightweight and directional and more.
And we got suspension,
And we got suspension,
Sway
and we got
bars.
tires, and sway bars.
light stuff.
And we probably still have a deal going on apparel right now, so you can go check that out too.
Oh, yeah.
Like 25% off apparel.
That's a deal.
That is a deal.
You can get a whole new wardrobe. Look freaking fly.
Yeah. Yeah, get one of everything. It'd be sick. Other than that, Sam, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?
That was kind of a hesitation.
I was just thinking about because the question is what have you been working on? Like
I just asked how
usually,
you're doing.
I'm good, but then we always talk about what we're working on. So I
Yeah.
was thinking of what am I working on? Oh, I asked myself a question. I think I'm gonna put my steering wheel flipper upper thinger.
Yeah,
in
so
the
you
car.
got the FedEx cube in the mail.
It was like a perfect cube. They took FedEx took or MA Performance who shipped it out. They took the FedEx label, or like the envelope,
wrap
and literally wrapped it around it. I was like, I guess it's in it. Like, can't argue with that.
That's cool. So you got the quick release for.
Yeah,
Is that technically called a quick release? Because you're just
Searching for it was kind of hard because
Yeah.
some places call it a quick release, some places call it
Quick tilt?
Yes, literally, I think
okay.
that is what Energy calls it, is a quick tilt.
I mean, it's kind of dope. It's different. I like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like old school in a way.
What I kind of liked about it is it has a lock on it that
Yeah.
comes in the box. So, well, that was my stomach. One of the mic. Oh my god, I just had a lot of candy. I don't know if it has a lock on it, so you can actually take a thing, lock it, so you can't flip it back down.
Gotcha. Until you really want to.
Exactly. With like a quick release, then you got to be like a little bow wow and take the wheel off and like put it in your backpack and walk around school with it. So,
And sell electronics.
dude, yeah.
Yeah, that has a weird character development.
That is such a weird character. I wonder if like in some Fast and Furious they're just gonna like kill him off in some horrible way.
Is he still in the series?
I don't know. Do we even
I don't
hear
think
that?
so. I think he was just in that one, wasn't he?
I feel, yeah, maybe. I don't know. The last one was just such a mess that I don't really remember what happened.
I don't think I've. How many are there now?
9?
I don't think I've seen the last 2.
The last one is not good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. If anyone in here is like, I like that one, I mean, you probably just haven't seen any other movies, so like, it's fine.
I don't know. It was just like 7 ended, and obviously they did the whole tribute to Paul. I'm like, this is good. This is a good ending.
Oh yeah, 7
It
was
closed out.
yeah,
It closed out the series for me. I'm like,
Yep.
I just don't really want to watch any of the new ones. I'm good with how it ended.
It got weird.
Yeah, and in my mind and what I know how it ended.
Yeah.
and it's not the next
it
2
keep- it
movies.
keeps
so
going.
Kind of like Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen one of the first
I
one.
love Pitch Perfect movies, and the second one, decent ending, all right, and then the third one, I was like, all right, we'll give this a go. Fucking ruined it. They just threw everything out the window, and I was like, this was unnecessary movie.
Big. So in front of the whole company,
Yeah. I'll do the fucking cup song. I don't care.
Would you have said Pitch Perfect is your favorite movie?
No.
Okay. What would you
It's
say?
not my favorite movie, but I do like it.
What's your favorite movie?
Between
Between the Spokes is my favorite.
Yeah.
Movie. Like,
between Interstellar, which is kind of a
that's-
cop out. It's a good movie.
that's a
though.
good. Why is it a cop out? It's a
I don't
good
know. I
movie.
feel like that's like every guy's like favorite movie for
it's
some
a
reason.
good movie. It's just really freaking long.
It is really long. Otherwise, Twister.
Damn, those are very different.
Yes.
movies. Holy crap.
I do love Twister.
Both nature themed though.
Yeah, it is.
Big nature guy.
Nature.
So what are you up to? How are you doing?
I'm good. Kind of just getting the 240 just kind of cleaned up in a sense. Just kind of getting everything kind of adjusted the way I needed to. And like I said, I raised the front end, and I went through and since I raised the front end, I realized that because they were maxed out, we just took some of the lock collars off
cool.
of there to get it lower, right?
Nice.
I think I'm just gonna get new coils at this point. They're like old Megan Racing coilovers, and the one I wasn't able to like thread the body off
was, like, just
to like put a new
frozen.
collar on. Well, no, I was able to get it, but like because it was so low, the threads were exposed, and with shit hitting it, like the threads are just super like mashed and gnarled up and
sick.
and can't get it off. So I think I'm just gonna have to go with a new
Bite the
coilover
bullet.
setup. Yeah,
Well, you know, you can get coilers from AnoviaWheels.com.
I can.
We sell those.
We do.
Yep. I have new coilers for the IS on the way, not the 240.
Oh, really?
Yep.
What'd you go with?
Fortunatos.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mr. Jake Spencer over there helped me out.
Dang. Okay. That'll be cool.
Yeah, you got it. You got that hookup.
Yeah, definitely need to get some new coils for that, which is whatever, but it's slowly coming together.
Oh,
I
yeah.
took it for a drive again the other day. Needs an alignment terribly.
We can get that. Oh, we'll just do a little toe plate.
Yeah, you know how I had like the little, 45-degree like camber plate situation
Oh, yeah.
going on? I switched that around. Seems fine, so I don't know why.
Yeah, that was
wild.
That's so weird. I'm gonna adjust my camber, and it's like, nope.
I'm almost wondering if those like actual bolts for the camber plates aren't seized up, and to like take some camber out or something, they just like switched it around.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
that would be awful.
Yeah.
I think you should get new coilovers.
Yeah, I think yeah.
That'd be a
at
good way
this
to
point,
just start fresh.
At this point, I ordered some quick releases for the bumper, just because.
A little.
Yeah, I
things
see a
with
lot of
the-
people. Yeah, the push button ones.
Oh, I've kind of been curious about those.
Yeah, me too. I saw some videos on it. Looked pretty decent. I saw like a guy installing one of the KBD bumpers like I have, and he recommended it because he just like zip ties it down by the fenders, and kind of just has it, just like two bolts up top, and then for the sides, I guess like they kind of sag a little bit, like where like the fender
Yeah.
comes and starts to go down.
Yep.
So he just like where that brace is for the fender. It basically all it is like a stud
Yeah.
that you like drill a hole in and you like put it in there, and it's got like a little ball like pin at
Yeah.
the end, and then you put that where you need it, and then you install like the actual button on
Okay.
the side of the bumper, and then you click it in, and then when you want to release it, you just push it and it pops it out. So it seems pretty straightforward. And
When you install those, I'd be curious.
Yeah.
Because I take my bumper off a lot.
Yeah.
And I have it like an elaborate network of zip ties right now, and it's just every time I do it, it sucks. It's like
Yeah.
snip, snip, snip.
yeah,
snip,
don't worry,
snip.
it'll still be zip tied, just like everything else in the car. But
Zip ties give you flex.
yeah.
That's good. Should we talk about our topic today?
Yeah, so speaking of zip tying cars
yeah.
together, budget builds. all right?
Yeah.
Is it still a thing? Can you still
This
do
is
it?
a good time to talk about it.
Is it
because
worth it, right? Yeah, I mean, especially with, costs of everything else right now.
gas is like
yeah.
$1,000 a gallon.
Yeah, I think the eyes on something like a budget build. So either way, we still want to modify our cars, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, I even look at something like my daily, right? I still want to do stuff to. I don't want to like go crazy.
Yep.
But like I still want to do something to it. So it's like I look at like getting a set of wheels, and I got BC coils for it, and something like on what you could consider a budget, and then what does that include, and what can you do within, I guess once we define like what a certain budget is. But
So, I mean, budget can kind of be anything.
it really can, yeah. 'Cause, like I got a budget of $50,000.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
you're
like,
like,
no, that's not.
Wow. I know some
It's not usually what
some people are like, oh yeah, this is the best 10-second car under 50 grand. It's like,
Right.
well, that's a.
It's not. It is a
large gap.
budget. It's
Yeah.
just not budget.
So when you hear
Right? I
budget
don't
build, what do you kind of like think of?
Usually, okay, so budget build. Like somebody like, yeah, it's a budget build.
Mm-hmm.
I would think of like some like early 2000s Honda, like a set of coils, maybe like like an entry-level set of wheels. They got bolt-ons to it. Maybe they went and picked up like some like cheap turbo kit or something like that, just to add some boost to it. Or like they had a buddy that they bought like the built like B18 from or something like that, or K motor or something. And I saw that. And put it in there. Something along those lines where it's like maybe you're not buying brand new parts. Maybe you're buying secondhand parts.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing is like a budget build. Like you gotta save money in different areas in different ways.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like some areas, it's like it makes sense to save money on. Especially like sometimes aero. It's like if you're not super you don't care like I need the Vertex kit. It's like you're okay with the knockoff.
Right.
You can save some money. But when it comes to turbos, sometimes it's better to spend a little bit of money on the real thing versus the eBay whatever and turn up to like 30 PSI.
Right, exactly. So like, so when I think of budgets, like, okay, they did it to save as much money as they could in a sense, right? Like you're doing it to like, I have this set amount of money.
Yep.
I want to get as much as I possibly can for this amount of set amount of money. So like, what are some things that you could do? Which might be a good point to go into is like, how can you save some money while building a car to sit within like your certain budget?
Yeah, and I mean the huge thing too is like kind of what are you doing with the car? Because you could be doing like drag racing, or you could be just like a show car.
Because certain things are going to focus on certain areas more. Like,
So where do you want to start?
I think we kind of leaned into it too, like just talking about like, how can you save some money? Like, say you just got like a different car or something like that. You got like a new project. You're like, hey, I want to do like a budget build for it. I think the first place to start usually what we recommend is like, and it's gonna sound weird from a wheel company, but like suspension is usually like the best.
I think that our first podcast.
I think we talked about that too. Like best first modifications.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Suspension can really be like a really good mod to start out with because like you get a lot of benefits from it. Like you can look good on stock wheels.
Yep.
Not all aftermarket wheels look good on stock suspension.
Actually, you know what you mentioned? So I had to go home during lunch to let my dog out because we were filming tonight. And on the way back, I saw a newer TRD Camry. Yeah. And it was absolutely slammed. It was on stock wheels, but I was like, damn, like that absolutely is what I was talking about. It was like a stock wheels. I know aftermarket looks cooler, but like if you're gonna lower the car, it's like it looks way cooler.
And I'm not gonna lie, there's some good looking OEM wheels. Like there's a reason that people like do sell that, like especially like you look at wheels like BMW. A lot of people like swap those wheels around. Like that's a known thing.
Here, let's go on a tangent. What's your favorite OEM wheel?
It's probably the 370Z Nismo wheels.
Those are really cool.
Those look super dope.
They look dope on 240s or S chassis.
If only they were deco directional.
Damn.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
They had to cut some money somewhere. I guess they chose the wheels.
Honda needs to figure that out, by the way.
Yeah, there's a lot. Nissan bad with it too.
Yeah.
Honda does it. I think that honestly there's a lot.
There's a ton of like, non-directional
so bad.
like wheels.
You're gonna do directional wheels, do them right. Damn it. So I mean like, yes, suspension first, and especially with like newer cars. Like you're talking about that TRD Camry. It's like newer cars are coming like stock with like 19s and 20s on them.
So I remember, I was a kid when this truck stuff for a second.
Yeah.
But when Dodge, before it was like Ram, when they had it was like the Ram 1500, and I think it came stock or with a stock option for like chrome 19s. And I remember I was like, whoa!
Damn, yeah.
Like those are huge. Like,
it was
crazy.
It was like I look back, it was like my 2005 Neon I had. I think was stock like 15s or 16s, and people were upgrading.
You did 2005 Neon?
Yeah. SXT.
I think that's the facelift up over because I had a 98.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I had like little dumb round headlights, and you had like more of the
it was the last year of the Neon. I think 2005, right?
R.I.P. to the Neon.
Yeah, R.I.P. the Neon.
I love Neons.
I did too. I've always wanted an SRT4.
I always thought those were cool. I love Mike's Cobalt SS.
Yeah.
I think like those are two like super like underrated cars that people are really appreciating.
For sure.
Now. But anyways, suspension.
Yeah, so it's like, you're looking from like going from 16s and people are going to like 18s. Yeah. Anyway, but it's suspension, and you don't have to like ball out on like a fancy set of coilovers.
So
like
you're going to coilovers right away, but I did a what fits video for Fitment Industries, and it was the S197 Mustang.
Lowering springs.
That's huge. I mean, it's got like the live rear axle like most guys. My Mustang, when I bought it, the previous owner did lowering springs. And what's your opinion? Because if you're looking at a budget, like
that's what I did.
Coilovers. Like where would you go?
Honestly, like because I've been there, right? I was in high school. I was working at Subway. I was making like $300
An hour? Holy shoot.
a month, you know. The paychecks were small, you know, working part-time. Like, I still wanted to do stuff to my cars. Like, I had my Eclipse, and I was like, I want to lower this thing. And I was like, I went and found some, like, Eibach lowering springs for, like,
Dude, Eibach's got that game on lock.
Dude, they do.
They've got, like, lowering springs for everything.
They do. And, yeah, I bought them for, like, $250. Like, I was like, I can afford, like, I'm going to save up for, like, a month, and I can afford some, because I'm looking at coilovers at the time, and, like, my income, I was like, it's going to take me, like, 4 or 5 months to save up for, like, a set of, like, cheap coilovers, like, from eBay.
It's, I'm a fan of going the lowering spring route, as long as you're, like, your factory struts.
Yeah, if your factory struts
okay.
are good, yeah. Because that was a lot of thing too. It's like people are like, okay, well, if you're gonna lowering springs, like, you should probably upgrade your struts. So, like, my struts were already, like, replaced, like, not too long before that. So like, they only had like a couple thousand miles on them. So I'm like, yeah, we're good.
Fine.
So like, yeah, it was totally fine. And honestly, it didn't ride bad. It wasn't like harsh or anything like that. It felt very OEM. It was just sat like 2.5 inches lower.
Yeah,
so like,
same with my Mustang. It was like. It was fine. I didn't see. You don't get the adjustability out of it, but at that point,
that's the thing I was looking for. I just wanted to lower the car. I was still on stock wheels. Like, I just wanted to lower the car. Wheels would come later. I'm like, this is gonna get me by for what I want right now, and it worked absolutely fine. And and there was nothing wrong with that. I think lowering springs are a fantastic route to go, especially for newer cars. I mean, you look at all the suspension like technology that comes in newer cars.
Did you
like,
say that in a video somewhere or Dakota?
Yeah, I think we kind of bring it up a lot of times when we talk about.
That was a thing.
Yeah, with the Supra even, because Dakota's like, oh yeah, honestly, probably.
Which, if you're doing a Supra, that ain't a budget bill. I'm sorry.
No, that's not a budget bill. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, but you can, right? Like, say you bought like, I think like the Camaros have like that mag ride suspension.
That's supposed to be fan. I haven't ridden it. Wait. Does Nate's have the mag ride? I think it does.
I think it does, yeah, because it's got the different sport modes.
That is amazing. Yeah. By the way, like GM knocked that out of the park.
Because I remember Claire even had like Ed on hers and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, I just wanted lowering springs because I could have gone with coilovers, but like lowering springs got me the height that I needed. She still had aftermarket wheels, good fitment.
Yeah.
And yeah, she still could control the the controllable damping and stuff like that. So why not keep that? And especially for half the cost, or sometimes even more than a set of coilovers. So lowering springs, absolutely perfect route to go if, like you said, you're not looking for any like super like tight fitment or like want the adjustability out of things.
You can still get the fitment. You're gonna have to really do your homework.
Yes.
And get it like, this is it.
Just know that, it's no going back.
So really what you have to do is get the lowering springs first, get the car down, see where the wheel fits. You know the spec of the wheel. You can go for like $2 at Harbor Freight and buy a little like micrometer or whatever it is to, get, hey, I need like 10 more mils of negative offset or whatever it is. Like, there you go. You're perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, and if you can still get into, I know it's like, okay, you're looking at coils, it's like, all right, well, there's the first couple brands that like come to mind. You're like, oh, I just want a cheap set of coils.
Max speeding rods.
I mean, yeah, fucking, we're just gonna call it out. Max speeding rods, Raceland, all that's like usually like known as like the entry level brands for coilovers that a lot of people kind of give shit for. But it's like there's other ones out there too that are in the same price range. I look at Tane all the time. Tane, I feel like it's overlooked a ton, but that's a true Japanese coilover company that have been around for a ton of like long time.
Yeah.
Make it for a ton of different cars. And not to mention, the different series of coilovers that they have can fall into your budget. Like they have like their street basis, the street advanced, and those are all basically coilover options that convert your stock system to a coilover system. So it's like you're using a lot of OEM parts yet, especially for like the mounting and top hits. Now you're not going to get things like camber adjustment, but you are getting damping, you are getting ride height adjustment. And then if you want to get into like a full coilover system, their Tane Flex Z is like $850.
Yeah, it's a great
I had
deal.
those on my FRS and I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, those are great. I think we were all the way down to Chicago in your car, didn't we? Yeah, that was like great. Like not bad at all.
Yeah, they were awesome coilovers. I autocrossed with it. They felt great. You could crank the damping up a little bit. Honestly, they could go pretty low. I know, like they were a great coilover for the money, and I was really impressed with them. And I know Trey has them on his STI. He really enjoys them. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with Tane. They get really overlooked a lot of the times because it's just like, it's just one of those old coilover brands. But
they're good though, and like
they have no marketing. They got a Dampachi, like their little dude,
little character.
I remember me and Dakota got really drunk on live stream one time, and then he drunk ordered one of those plushies.
Oh really?
And then it like showed up like 2 months later, and he forgot that he ordered it. And he's like, when the hell did I order this? I'm like, oh, it's when we were playing freaking Mario Kart on the live stream.
He's like, oh no.
He's like, oh, I didn't think I actually ordered it. It was like $60
Oh my God.
because of like the shipping and everything, because it came from Japan.
That's amazing. So let's move away. So I think we got the lowering situation down.
Yeah.
What would you say next? Like wheels?
I'd say wheels, yeah.
So here's where it can get kind of weird.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of options where you can go. One of them is like other OEM wheels.
Right.
Like which
we see, honestly, I've seen more people do that now than ever.
I think there's an Instagram page where it's like OEM wheels on different cars or whatever. So it's like Nissan wheels on Mazdas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of crazy. But other than that, I mean, obviously we are a wheel company, and that's somewhere where you can you really I think want to concentrate some of your budget or understand where it is.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's, and I think we all fell for it at some point, especially when I was first getting into cars, because I was just like, okay, what are the cheapest wheels that I can find? Because I need new wheels for my car, and
all you're caring about is looks, really.
Yeah, and I don't have $1,500 to go spend on wheels.
Yeah.
Or even like $900 to go spend on wheels. It's like I just don't have that. What's out there for like $500?
Yeah, and then
Nothing, by the way.
Well, nothing good.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing decent.
Unless you want to buy some absolutely bunk used wheels that you're gonna have to
yeah, they're all
really do a lot of
curved
work.
up and like wrong offset, wrong bolt pattern. Yeah, and it's like that's kind of what I found going through. It was like oh my god, like with my budget, it's just not there. But there are some things out there. Like you can go out and find some like decent used wheels. They are out there. But
if you're looking at lowering the car and putting wheels on it, and you're like, all right, I've got X amount of money, I would put the majority of it towards the wheels. If you can get away with lowering springs. Because lowering springs will get you what you need.
Yep.
You can have that extra budget, put it towards some cool wheels, because the other thing with wheels is, especially if it's a 5x114 bolt pattern, you can take them off that car and put them on your next car.
Yep.
I don't say wheels are like an investment.
Or if you need to sell them, they're going to sell way easier.
They'll hold their value way better. So wheels, spend some budget there. I mean,
it's like,
wheels all the time.
it's honestly, as maybe it's getting older, but it's like, it's a good investment to invest in your wheels. Like,
if you sell your car too, cool wheels will help it sell way faster.
That too, and it's like honestly, that's like I'm looking at new car or looking for cars now. It's like that's the first thing I look at.
Dude,
how's the fitment?
Oh, I'm so bad.
What are the wheels? And it's like if there's some rough looking wheels with some bunk fitment, I'm like,
no,
that car. Is
so it's kind of like I think we said in another podcast. Like if you see someone with a dent in their car, it's like stay away from them. If someone has some I almost said a brand, some cheap wheels on their car. I'm like, ooh, I don't really know about how well this car was kept. Like, if I didn't wash it a lot, it's...
You just know. Like, you have that sense. It's like seeing someone's like, oh my God, that whole side of that car's caved in. Like, I must stay away from them.
On the flip side, if you're looking at, a clapped Civic and it's got some, immaculate Workmeisters, I'm like, what? This is weird.
So your priority's a little...
Yeah, what's going on here?
Yeah, so, investing in your wheels, that is one area that I would say, yes, if you have a limited budget, focus on that if you can, because that's really can make or break the overall aesthetic of your car.
Yep.
And it's take time, do the research on the fitment, find something that has the right fitment for your car, find something that do the research on what a
go to our gallery.
That too, go to the gallery. Do research on what a good wheel actually is. Figure out what manufacturing process they use. It's and even when we were making Anovia, we're obviously we don't want to make $2,000-$3,000 wheels. Now, granted, we have our Fords, which are super crazy expensive, but
yeah, because Gels is rich and he's got a whole set.
Yeah, but it's
and he's got multiple. Dude, you've got Forge wheels. You've got multiple garages. Living large over here.
Got a 240.
He's got a 240. He's got an RX-8. He's got a BMW.
Okay, all right.
Luxury.
Listen.
A Jeep.
Fuck that Jeep.
I just had to bring it up.
It's not my Jeep. It's my wife's Jeep. That thing's the biggest vehicle that I've ever seen.
Wow. Jeep guy.
No, so it's when we were making Anovia Wizards, we're we don't want them to be super crazy expensive. We knew we were there. Yeah, we were there. We're if I was making a wheel to sell to myself, what would it be? And
well, we kind of are because we kind of buy our own wheels.
Yeah, I literally have. Yeah.
Dude, we'd be the worst drug dealers ever. We just buy our own product.
Yeah, it's made all these wheels and I just took half of them.
I know. I know.
Where's all the inventory? It's have you checked Gel's garage?
They're on cars.
Yeah. All of his cars are on them. No, but it's like, yeah, one of the making the price points to that like $1,000 to $1,200 range, like for like your normal size wheels, like is where we wanted to land, and like that's where you should be looking. Like that 900 to like 1,400 range is.
I think that's a perfect range.
Yeah, it's gonna get you something pretty decent. Like you're still gonna find some regular cast wheels in there. You're gonna find wheels that are, have like the rotary forging, flow forging, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, whoever trademark whatever.
Forging the barrel.
Yes.
Essentially, you're gonna find that, which is our wheels are, and then. But yeah, like if you're talking like fully forged, race, you're talking like Volks, SSRs, like yeah, those are gonna be your couple thousand, or yeah, just fully forged multi-piece. But yeah, like that $900 to $1,300 price range, you'll find some good stuff in there.
Yeah, and you dip below that, and there are some good value in that range too. But your resale value won't be that great because it's like. It's kind of like buying a car. Like if you can step up and buy, say, like a $20,000 car, and you keep it nice, you'll always be within that range because when you sell it, you'll get some good money for it, assuming it didn't like just take a nose on depreciation.
Yeah, you just beat the crap out of it. Yeah.
So we got suspension, we got wheels. We're kind of talking about like the way to budget through like some of the first mods. What's the next thing you think of? Because I got it in my mind. But I want to see what you're saying. Oh shoot! I forgot about tires.
Tires are really important too. Like it's super.
What a lot of people do. A lot of people just forget about tires.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, hey, I just spent all my money on wheels. Now I'm gonna go get some $200 tires, which is fine. You can do that.
What's your go-to budget tire?
My go-to budget tire?
Yeah. Like what would you say?
So
because I know tires are weird right now. So
yeah, it is weird because like in the past, it was like Federal 595. So like they're $500. Like you get a kind of cool tread pattern on them. They're super cheap. They're super available. And they were decent.
Yep.
So, honestly, looking at it now, so I got some Kumo PA 51s or something like that, whatever their like performance all season tire is. Just got those on the RX-8, and honestly, I really enjoy them. Like they look good. Like they stretched pretty decent. Honestly,
they look good on the wheels.
And like I'm super happy with those, and those are pretty pretty affordable for what they are. And other than that, like the Hankook Ventus
that's my go. I love the Hankook Ventus V2.
Yep.
I might get flamed for this. I have it on my Skyline, and that thing has like a lot of horses under it, and it's great.
You got horses under your tires?
Under the hood gels. Dude, this guy doesn't even know how like car guy terms. But yeah, never mind. But those are great.
Yeah.
Like they're fun to drive. They're fun to drive on because you can drive on them hard, but they're also fun because they're not like super grippy, so you can get the back end out a little bit, loose, but it's not like ice skating. So I don't know. I really like those. I'm actually gonna put I think the wheels and tires that I have in the Skyline. I think I'm gonna put those on the 240.
Okay.
Because the Skyline isn't really gonna move anytime soon. It's just such a sad. Oh my god.
Stop talking about it.
Oh my god, it's so bad. I'm like stealing parts from it, and it's gonna have like some rollers on it.
Yeah. No, there's so. Yeah, unfortunately, like the super, like you got like your like Dolente Thunders, and you got like those.
Dude, okay, but the names on the really cheap tires are awesome.
Yeah, and then you got like your Vitelli Stratospheres. Like there still is like decent replacements for like the 595 since those are like obsolete now. There are decent replacements out there for them, but like what I found, especially from like driving the FRS specifically, is like don't be afraid to invest in tires if you can. Like it's totally worth it. Like just the peace of mind, the comfort, the quietness to most of them. Even though like I never thought
sometimes it's cheaper over time.
It's like my car droned like crazy, but what drove me nuts even more was the actual tire noise. Because
Jeez.
I was like, it's just like a different frequency, and it drove me nuts.
What did I get some? I bought some tires and I had them on the IS, and they were really loud. I don't remember what they were, but it did. It drove me absolutely nuts because I was like, what's this howling sound like? Something broke it.
Yeah, it sounded like a wheel bearing going out or something.
Yes, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, and I was like, Jesus, what is that? And I was like, oh my God, it's the tires. Because I swapped out to a different tire, and I was like, it's gone. Yep. Oh my God, this is so much better. But yeah, I mean, there are some good ones out there. And honestly, if you're looking for a decent tire, $500 to $700, I think is where you should be looking, because that gets you into like some of the Continental. Like Extreme
Continental has
Context,
some really good options too.
Your Michelin Pilot Sports, like your All Seasons, your Hankooks, your Kumhos. Those are all great. And even some of like the Firestone, like Firehawk Indy 500s
yeah,
or something.
those are.
I've heard a lot of good things about those too.
I think every Volkswagen in our gallery has those.
You know that is funny because Sterling, who had his GTI, swore by the Firestone Firehawk.
It's hilarious.
Too,
You go in like the gallery, and it's like, wow, they all have that tire.
Yep, literally all of them. Yeah, don't be afraid to invest in your tires. It's a very important aspect of your car, especially if you're driving it all year round. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna rely on that
If
for some.
you're a budget build, it's most likely your only car.
Yeah.
So
a decent all season.
Yes.
And all those brands make a really good all season tire.
So if you're kind of modifying your car, especially if it's your only car.
Yep.
Let's be real. Wheels look cool.
Yep.
Suspension makes your car look cool. You need to sound cool.
Yeah.
Exhaust is a lot of times people jump.
Cut it off and straight pipe.
Oh God. Oh God.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Don't do that.
I knew a guy that once he had a Chevy 1500.
Oof.
It's cool.
Oof.
And
This sounds like some truck guy shenanigans.
Yes, the whole time that thing was straight pipe pretty much, but they kept changing it up, like different
Like
straight
throw like a
pipe
cherry
setups.
bomb on there or something.
Yeah, and like different straight pipe setups. I remember one time, I shit you not, he took like the clothesline pole out of like their yard that his mom would hang clothes.
Oh,
up
like
to
the
dry.
metal one?
Yeah, like the
Oh,
actual metal clothesline
God.
pole, and just welded it to the truck. And it was like, maybe like an
Yeah.
inch and a half diameter on a freaking 1500 truck, and I was like.
That's
It was
messed
the
up.
worst sounding thing I've ever heard of.
Where I used to work, a guy had one of the first gen like Audi Quattros, super cool car, but it was straight piped. And
Yeah.
it was so loud and just like it sounded weird because it's like a 5-cylinder.
Yeah.
And it was,
Oh, that is weird.
but comes with exhaust. You can go really cheap,
Yeah.
or you can go really expensive. There is a middle ground, but I'm just gonna say this out there, and maybe it's an unpopular opinion. It's kind of platform specific on what
It really
like
is
cheap out there. Because for the IS, I had bought a really cheap eBay exhaust because I was like, this thing's low, it's gonna be drifting, I'm probably gonna smash it up, and it sounded pretty good until it got a little messed up.
Why? How?
I hit stuff
Like what?
like the track because the car bottomed out.
It wasn't like. Never mind.
No, the fence can't hit the exhaust. No, it was literally because there's in US Air,
Yep.
bottoms out, and I could hear it like crunch, crunch,
Yeah.
like every time I was like, that's gonna put a hole in it. And yeah,
Damn.
it put a hole
Sure
through
enough.
it. But it really depends, and it depends on the sound
does.
you want to.
It does too. Because okay, so at the end of the day, exhausts are bent pieces of tubing, and
Yep.
some sort of muffler.
Yep.
I used to swear by eBay exhaust. I'm not gonna lie. I had it on my Neon S16. Believe it or not, it was actually super. It was barely louder than OEM.
Damn.
It was
It was like
wild.
an axle back.
Yeah. No,
I
it was,
guess-
it was a catback.
Oh, I guess there's the other thing too. Is like there's either catback or axle back.
Yeah.
And
Usually, like a lot of the axlebacks I see are just like a race pipe or some stuff.
Yeah, it's usually kinda just
really-
weird.
Yeah, it's just like a muffler delete, bolt on muffler.
if you can do
delete,
it, you like get a catback.
Get a catback if you can. That's like your best bang for your buck. Like no, but I had it for the Neon. I bought one for the Eclipse too, and honestly, I thought it sounded really good.
Yeah.
And like to this day, because I still had the car up until like a year ago, like still thought it sounded pretty good. It held up. Like there was no cracks in anything. I owned the car for like 5-6 years. Like it
Yeah.
held up.
I mean, my eBay exhaust in the IS, it held up really well. Like it was a very fringe use case.
Yeah, it's just like man, if you're gonna get one, just like look for the right size. And I knew that I wanted like a 2.5-inch exhaust,
Yep.
so I got a 2.5-inch exhaust for the car. Everything bolted up decent. If there was any fitment issues, which is usually the biggest thing that you have to deal with, is
It's usually
fitment
like
issues.
the other thing that they usually cheap out on those exhausts is the gaskets.
Yep.
So you can usually go to an auto parts store, literally buy gasket material.
You make
and
it
just,
yourself.
Just
Yeah.
make it yourself. That's and oversize it a bit because it'll make up for any
Right, yeah.
like any weird things. I agree. That's the thing. The fitment's tough. The other thing too is like exhausts are weird for platforms because
Yeah.
like an HKS high power on the 240 is significantly cheaper than it is on the IS, and a lot of it has to do with just where the cat is on the car because it matters with how much tubing they have to put, and that's material, cost, etc.
Yeah, it's crazy because, and it's even with that too, kind of talking about like platform specific. It's like some brands sound really good on certain cars.
Yes.
And then like another car, not so much.
Exactly.
So it's like it really is platform specific, and I think that's why we get locked into watching exhaust videos for hours on end whenever we're looking at swatch model exhausts.
What's your favorite exhaust company?
Honestly, I really dig Gretty. I like Gretty a lot.
Gretty's. I love the way in general like Gretty's you sound, especially like the what looks cool is the burnt tip Gretties.
Hell yeah, that's what I had.
That was, I know. Your car sounded so
Thank you.
good.
Yeah.
I compliment it all the time. Like, I
Yeah,
love
it
when
was
things sound
loud
good.
as hell and droned like crazy, but like the quality of the exhaust, I have a Gretty in the RX-8 too, absolutely love it. But like the quality of the exhausts themselves are decent. The price is like actually like kind of affordable. Like it's not
For some cars.
Yeah, for some cars.
Really,
Again, yeah. But I would say like averages
how
around
much
like
was it for your FRS?
for both of them. It was like so the FRS was like 700. Actually no, it was less than that. It was like because it was a single exit exhaust.
Dude,
it was like probably 600.
Gretty for the IS300 is not cheap.
No,
it's over $1,000.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that's when you're like Gretty's good. I was like. So that's it, platform specific.
Yeah.
Because it was crazy how much it was how much it is for the IS.
And that was that Gretty was my first real like nice exhaust.
Those are dope.
And
that's
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was the single exit burn tip, so it was like 600. The one for the RX-8, I think came in around like 700 or so. So it's like they're not like crazy expensive. Again, platform specific, but like not like crazy expensive, but just the overall quality and just everything to them, I absolutely love.
Yeah, I think it's hard to go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So, where would you? I kind of steered us towards the exhaust. Yep. Where do you want to talk about next?
So when you're looking at like, I'm trying to think back like when I was first getting into cars, looking at like a budget build, like what I was looking to do. Obviously, make it look good. It's like wheels, tires, suspension, an exhaust, intakes maybe.
That's
like,
kind of what I was thinking.
Like because I remember too. It's like the cars that people are getting into now are not the cars that I was getting into when I was 16.
The cars that people are getting into now are fast as.
I know, like people, like 18-year-olds are getting like GTIs, and I'm like, what?
Or like a 350Z.
Yeah,
like 300 some horsepower
and stuff like that. And and so like I don't know, intake was also one that like I was kind of gravitated towards. Definitely don't. eBay exhaust can be okay. eBay intake don't. No.
Yeah, well,
That's
really,
not it.
really, what it is too is like you can get away with some cheap intakes, but you're gonna have to buy a different filter, because be careful about that. Like I know HKS gets a lot of like hate for their mushroom filters.
I love the
it
mushroom
disintegrates.
filter.
I have them on. I went on the R32. I got the Blitz version. It's like a copy on the 240.
Yeah.
Just change the filter when you're supposed to change it. Like they tell you, like, hey, like this is when you should change. Just do it.
Yeah.
But the intake, I think that's probably the next move, because
especially if you have a boosted platform. Like if you're so you gotta
change the exhaust.
You gotta like looking decent. You gotta sound decent. Okay, like what's next would be performance. Everyone wants to go faster.
Yeah.
And you're looking at like boosted platforms. Usually something like an intake, a downpipe, or some sort of exhaust and a tune are like the holy trinity of like modifying like a newer boosted platform.
Yep.
And there's usually companies like Cobb out there that make the whole shebang. Like they have the freaking exhaust system, they have the intake, and they got a tune. You buy the whole thing for like $2,000.
And you're good to go. It works together.
And it does, yeah, because they like with you're talking like tunes and stuff like back in the day. Yeah, you take it to shop, put it on dyno, and they tune it, or you go out, drive it around with a freaking laptop, and you tune it.
Yep.
And it's like which was good because you'd get a tune specifically built for how your car is running and like the parts you have installed, and it's like off the shelf tunes and flash tunes are great and everything, but they're not like optimized usually for all of your parts. They're like, hey, if you have an aftermarket intake, you have an exhaust, here's kind of like a factor of safety area of where we can put you for a tune, and that's what we're going to sell. Because it saves their own ass. Because they can't just like go throwing tunes out there that blow cars up. But it's like you take it to like a shop to tune it, or like if you have like I said, Cobb for instance, like we sell everything plus the tune that's made specifically for these parts. You're going to be fine.
Well, and the nice thing is if you can get parts from one manufacturer, like
it makes it so much easier.
It'll work. It all fits together. Otherwise, it's like you're taking Legos, Duplos, and Mega Blocks and trying to like build something. It's just like, well, it worked, but
it went together, but it didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's very true. I kind of ran into that too, where it was like I had like a Tomei like front pipe, and then like the Gretty exhaust.
Yep.
And the styles of flanges were different. And I didn't realize that was a thing, and it was kind of it worked, but it wasn't pretty.
So I think we kind of covered the bases, and of like where some parts are for the budget build. But when it comes to budget builds, like, there's different things people could do. So like a budget show build, is it worth it?
Oof, that's a tricky subject.
So where my mind goes is, I'd say yes, but you got to live within your means.
Yes.
So if you're going to do a budget show build, your car's probably gonna have to be like pretty clean. Like maybe it's not like the
You're not gonna go for everything. You're
Yeah.
not gonna get like a cage. You're not gonna wide body it. You're not gonna paint it. You're not gonna get all the big crazy arrow.
do a few things right.
Yep.
Like,
do a couple. I think that's a trap. That's a good point. A trap that a lot of people fall into is like, I want to build a show car, but I only have this much money, and I'm gonna try to do everything.
and it's all gonna look like shit.
And yeah, so you cut corners on like everything to make it work, and it's like, yeah, you get the car done, but it's not gonna turn out the greatest.
No.
And you're gonna be able
It's
to
gonna
tell.
look like a budget
Where it's like,
car.
where it's like, okay, no, I have this much money, I can probably really focus on getting like some crazy good fitment, and I'm gonna get the car detailed so the paint's really nice.
And those.
And I've seen those cars
those-
win more shows than anything.
If you can like spend the money on that detailing, paint correction, whatever it is, or learn how to do it yourself, buy the tools, like that brings your build to a whole other level, and all the other stuff can come later. And honestly, you're gonna want to take care of that car. It looks nice, like it's just
because I think a lot of people just have more respect for something that's like, okay, like it doesn't have a lot of stuff done to it, but it's done well.
Yeah.
Versus like everything done to it, and it's kind of like all shoddy.
What about a budget car that you're gonna take on the track?
Oh, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, that's where I think the budget build really shines.
Because it's because that what it comes down to then too is like, how does the car feel for you? How's it performing? What's your times looking like, or how how are you doing? Like, yeah, and it's like, I would say for the most part, you can take a normal car out there and go do something with it.
What it makes you do is it focuses everything on the driver.
Yeah.
Because you're like, all right, I don't have the money for this and this and this. I got to get as good as I can with this. And like, let's say you're doing time attack. When all of a sudden you're getting consistent times with consistent conditions, and you're not getting better, that's when you're capped by your equipment.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, okay, now I need to move on.
Yeah, and you get to learn like those parts so much more.
Oh my
It's
God,
like,
yeah.
Say like I go out there and like, okay, car's on like lowering, or like I got a set of coils on the car. I just got some new tires. Like I needed some new tires, so I got some like really nice tires for the car. And you go see the difference that makes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna try a different tire next time.
You changed one variable.
Yeah, you change one variable versus like, hey, I just did a complete build on this car. I got some like 3-way adjustable coilovers. I got like the craziest tire out there.
Yep.
We did like a whole cantilever suspension setup, aero to the max. Like everything's dialed in. We got like it's like, okay,
It's
cool, but like now you have to learn everything.
I know, and it's just like, and if something doesn't feel right, you're like, well,
Where do you
I
start?
don't know
Yeah.
where to start. And a budget build is completely worth it, I think, at the track. I'd honestly suggest that's the way everyone starts, because you learn on a more basic setup.
Yeah.
Less things go wrong.
And I think when it comes down to budget builds too, something that a lot of people forget, and where a lot of kind of hidden cost comes in. It's like, okay, you got the parts. Who's going to install it? Are you
Yeah.
doing it yourself? Are you paying
That's a good
someone to do it?
point.
Because paying someone to do it's probably going to be pretty
It's
expensive.
insane.
I would say for the most part, anything, and this is just me maybe being a little arrogant and not wanting to spend money, but it's like, I try to do everything myself as much as
Same.
possible.
I
And
do
if I
too.
don't know how to do it, I'm a friggin' force myself.
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube mechanic number one.
Where's
over
Chris
here.
Fix at, my guy?
Whereas like when I was wrapping the car, dude, I just had videos playing the whole time.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
And you were recording video at the same time.
Yeah. That was insane. This is 2021 in a nutshell.
Video gels.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the things it's like, never done before. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go do a bunch of research.
That's a
beforehand
big
and-
factor of the budget, though. Is like
It's
not
a
just the
huge factor
parts,
of the
but
budget,
like we didn't really talk about that. But if you're going to do it yourself, it opens things up a lot more. I would encourage you, if you have the space and you have the tools or can get the tools, try to do it yourself, because you're going to learn so much, and they're very transferable skills to everything.
Within reason. Don't go like trying to
Don't
do
rebuild a motor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like never picked up a wrench before, but like I'm gonna rebuild that.
I really I've never really rebuilt the motor, like done crazy like that. I really want to buy like a cheap LS and just take it apart and put it back together.
You should buy my Renesis motor, or I'll just give you my Renesis motor, and we can go put some new Apex seals in it.
But I have no idea what I'm doing.
Me neither. So it's,
I mean, it'd be fun.
two brains gonna be better than one, right? I heard Vaseline is key.
Like lube up the Apex seals.
Yeah, everything. Just slap
seriously?
Vaseline on everything. Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know.
Although I will say, if we take apart your rotary, that's gonna not teach me anything. Because I'm like, well, that's a rotary.
Well, that's gonna be for when you get an FC RX-7 in the near future.
I
start driving that.
started watching some like older, truthfully, there's older Hoonigan videos, and like the Torque Stallion when there's like rotary. Like, It's so cool.
It's awesome.
It's rotaries like Joel's FC.
Yep, I love that thing.
That's one of my all-time favorite cars. It's so iconic. He drives it like an absolute maniac, and it makes the best sounds.
And the biggest fireballs.
Oh, at dusk, like it's just.
I think I saw a lot of stuff from like it was either Rio Bash or Final Bout up there, dude. That it was featured in so many things just because like every corner there's.
It's so cool.
And he drives.
He drives so hard. Like I don't know how we got on this, but have a cool car, drive it hard, and just I don't know. Don't give a F about what's happening. And it's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know. It's so cool.
Hell yeah.
But so budget builds, I think they're 100% worth it.
You can absolutely do it. It's just like, be smart with it, right? Like put your money in if you have a limited amount of money, put it in the right areas. And I think if you kind of really sit down, take a look at what people are doing out there, do your research, you can really do a good job with it.
Oh yeah.
And get by just fine, and then down the road like continue to add more stuff. And I think the biggest takeaway is like, don't try to do everything at once. If you have a budget,
take your time.
Focus in on a certain thing that you really, really care about. If it's the wheels, if it's how it sounds, if it's just how it performs.
Yep.
Focus in on that and do that. Don't try to do everything at once, because that's how you fall into like a trap, and then end up honestly spending more money in the long run because you bought everything.
Yes.
And now you have to go rebuy everything.
Yeah, and there's certain things where like a budget build doesn't make sense. Like you go in a 1,000 horsepower car.
Yeah.
You can't really cheap out. Like like you can do it and do it like one pass.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's gonna blow up.
It'd be awesome. I mean,
a sick
people that
pass.
do a lot of YouTube series on stuff like that.
Yeah, if you're a YouTuber, budget builds are great because it breaks all the time. You get a lot of content.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, Jake isn't here.
Damn. Shots fired.
Yeah, shots fired. Sorry, Jake. Watch this. So,
no, but yeah.
I think that, I don't know, it's kind of not like this crazy conclusion, but I think budget builds get a lot of hate where it's like the internet, especially TikTok, is like you got to have expensive money.
Yeah,
to
you don't
spend
have $10,000 wheels and your car's not wide bodied and it's not making 1,000 horsepower and you don't have fully custom interiors, so your car sucks.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
if you're out there and you bought like things smartly and did it right and you are doing what you love and it's executed well, like that's sick. Like that's all you need to do. So you heard it from us, folks. Budget builds are worth it. Just do it right.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in, watching, wherever you're consuming this podcast at. And of course, don't forget to check out Anovia Wheels over at AnoviaWheels.com. We got wheels, tires, suspension, anything you want for your budget build.
Yeah.
Got some apparel over there as well. Like I said,
look
we're
cool in your budget build.
trying to get some new apparel
Budget
in.
apparel for your budget build. Because they're on sale, aren't they?
Yeah, 25% off.
Hell yeah.
So go check it out, AnoviaWheels.com. Thank you guys so much for listening, tuning in, watching. I'm Jels.
I'm Sam.
We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Bye.